My cat is similar to its owner. It's so sociable that it hangs out near other people's things. Like that vehicle that you're seeing in the background is not ours. And this chick is chilling there. Oh gosh. You're gonna get kicked out, dude. And all that meowing is not gonna work for you. Okay, goodbye, Crane Cat. Hi, how's it? In the name of Christ. So, I'm trying to get my life back together again. And I am going now somewhere to make sure that that is possible. I have been so extracted from society altogether, and I have been so a non-member that I don't have basic things, and it's quite embarrassing. But I realize that I'm going to need certain things in order for me to actually get my life back running, to prepare for them coming, even though I don't yet have the ability to use them. I just need them. I'm going to the mall right now, to a bank. I think I'll use Standard Bank. The car had died. The battery, I was panicking like a monster and I was freaking out. Oh my goodness. Because I kept on charging it in the car because of these podcasts. Like even the time that I'm going to the mall now, I've chosen it because the power's off. I was busy writing an article for my blog, my WordPress account, and the power just... It's like the third time in, do I have a mask? Ish, you know, coronavirus, whatever. The third time, yeah. It is the third time in just 12 hours, 24 hours. Yo, guys, this nation. Like, business interruption for days. I can't say that enough. Anyway. The car had died because I was busy charging it with, my phone, with it, and I did not like drove out the car to do that, and the car battery died. This morning I came back to the vehicle freaking out and the car's gone, and then it went on. So I guess next time if I'm going to be using the car in order to charge, I need to every so often like juve it and start it. Anyway, moving on, let's just get to the point. You know, I'm wearing this jacket because it's been cold and like nippy, ridiculous cold. It's autumn at present, but now it's hot, and as hot as it is, I realized that I should probably want a skipper or something, but the mall should be kind of cool with all of the aircon in there. Hopefully life will improve. But let me just switch on the aircon. Even in here it is boiling, and I don't want to go inside. I don't want to go back to change. I don't. Anyway, yeah. Guys, my life has been rough, right? I'm trying to motion people to help me out so I can grow again. I'm ready to go to heaven, but I don't want to go soul type thing. It would be great if God came and raptured the church, but if that doesn't happen yet soon, any day now this year, I gotta get my life somewhat back on order, on track again. I'm trying to highlight the issues of society, and so I'm writing a lot and I'm blogging a lot, I'm vlogging, I'm doing what I can to send awareness, because frankly I think the rapture could happen tomorrow, but hey, you know, people don't believe. So given the horrific life conditions I have had for the past 8 years and counting, you would imagine that certain things of mine have kind of gone dry. You would imagine that certain things of mine have kind of become, what is the word, like disbanded, disabled, or disqualified, or dormant. I think the right word is dormant. South Africa and potholes, right? Everything I complain about. Infrastructural developmental funds, where are they going to when our roads in suburbia look like a mountainside? Anyway, fine. So I am going somewhere right to the bank. At the present moment I'm going to the mall. I want to drive at my leisure so that I could get this message out before I park again at the mall, because we don't live very far from the mall. Things of mine have gone dormant, you would imagine, as a result of me. I guess I'm so strained. Like, I think you can see it in my face. Like, a lot of the life in me appears to be getting drained out. I have been working so much and with no reward, so I'm really kind of freezing and freaking out, and I think it's starting to show on my face. I wish I could do a facial, but whatever. That's not going to help. What needs to improve is what's going on inside my heart. Anyway, righto. So this nation, there's a little bit of a delay coming that I don't appreciate, and there's nothing I can do to correct it. Anyway, whatever. So things have gone dormant of mine in 8 years of in and of myself being out of action. I haven't been out of action. I just have not participated normally in the order of society, and that's just wrong. Just put that out there, okay? So my license disc expired. Driver's license expired years now. Vehicle in and of itself dead. This vehicle is not mine, okay? So I am an unlicensed driver at the present moment because of the expiration of my driver's license. Everything is dormant. So can you then do a guess as to what else might potentially be dormant? My bank account. If anything, I had, when I was employed, the same bank account that I opened when I first started working. No, it was the second one ever, but I had my bank account basically for years. I knew everything about it. Oh, come on, guys, like, what do you want to do? I knew everything about it. Like, the electricity's dead, so it's a little bit of a challenge to get past the robots. So that's what I was doing. Like, people were busy playing, like, you know, what did they, like, what do they call it? Chicken with me. And I'm like, do you go first? Do I go first? Do you what? Like, yeah, that's what that was. Anyway, yeah. Right, so my bank account that I used to have, I had it most of my career. Like, one of the first company. Okay, fine. So my first job was with Liberty Life, and I had a Standard Bank account because Liberty Life allies with Standard Bank. And then I moved from Liberty Life and I worked for Nedbank. And then Nedbank had these great perks. I was a staff member there, and the perks to Nedbank exceeded those of Liberty Life, so I moved over to Nedbank. And then when I moved to other companies, I didn't change my Nedbank account. I stayed with it, so it's been with me for like a minute. I did move over to FNB because I was convinced successfully by some private banker who came to me and was like, look, you should probably move over to private banking. But I still kept my Nedbank account because it was, I don't know, it's like holding on and just as like a pet, you know, just like, why leave it behind because you're now moving on to marry a man or whatever. Like, it's still the pet type thing. So I kept my Nedbank account. I therefore, prior to losing everything, had an FNB account, an FNB private banking account, and then I had a Nedbank regular account. Now, a private banking account is not going to stay active if you're not earning the kind of money that a private banking client would make. So that died fast as soon as I lost my job. That account went AWOL on me as soon as I lost my job. It was deactivated in a matter of months. However, my Nedbank account, that stayed with me for some time. Like, some time. If anything, it was the account I believe that I got paid my pension monies into. Oh, the potholes in this land. It's like, I need a 4x4. Sure, man. Like, one road, you be driving in it at the speed of like a snail because next thing you know, the tires are all bust. Anyway, whatever. My Nedbank account, because it was so long standing and we had like a whole rapport type thing, it sort of kind of stayed faithful to me, and I believe it's the account into which even my payout from NTN, my like pension monies and whatnot, came into these potholes. Anyway, yeah, it was faithful for a minute, and then I stopped getting any money into it at all, of course, because I'm unemployed. And I kept getting SMSs, emails, all these like random things from Nedbank on some air. What's happening? You've got charges, fees on the account. I was sent to lawyers and whatnot. I didn't want to close the account because what in the world is a person that doesn't have an account going to do? What are you going to do? Like, what kind of an adult doesn't have an account? I didn't want to close it. I needed an account. I needed one just in case somebody decided to make nice and give me money when I'm in need or something, you know? So I did not close that account, and I hope that Nedbank would understand that I'm coming back. I'm going to pay them for all of the charges that keep on going off on an account of an unemployed woman, and I'm going to pay them all back, and I'm going to say I'm sorry, and then life is going to continue. But then after, I think, 3 years of inactivity in my bank account, Nedbank was like, I'm sorry, girl, we're going to kick you out, period. You're not going to be able to do anything about it. So I found one day trying to go on my online banking. Why was I trying to do that? I think maybe yes. I was busy applying for jobs, and in order to apply for work, you need to have a bank account, just in case they give you a job. You know, they have to have some way to pay you, type thing. And I tried to go into my internet banking again, and it told me that this profile has been deactivated because the account is no longer active. And I was like, oh, everybody's kicking me out. Everybody and everything is kicking me out, including people with whom I've been totally loyal for so many years. So I lost that account at Nedbank, and there's no way I can revive it again. Literally, I still remember the account number to this day off by heart. Like, it was my bank account. That got dismembered real quick. So not real quick, Nedbank actually stuck with me. It was like singing with me, I want to stay with you through the ups and downs, but girl, like, there's nothing coming in, Heidi. So they just deactivated me, and now I am sitting with no bank account, and I've been waiting to open one because I know now that banks can just deactivate you, especially if you haven't been with them for long. I've been waiting to open one, you know, just at the opportune time when I'm expecting that I'm going to be getting money coming into it. Literally, I've been waiting for years. Like, can a person be that parched? Can a person be that broke? Like, for like the longest amount of time, I was like, people that don't have bank accounts. I never used to understand who does that. Like, I used to work for a bank, right? And the fact that there are people that did not own bank accounts when we were busy studying banking and whatnot, I couldn't understand what that was. When they were busy coming, you know, at the time, innovating cardless methods of accessing money, non-bank account holders to access money, I was like, who doesn't have a bank account? It's free to open. I don't understand what's going on. It's free to open. I don't understand what's happening. That was the story of my unfortunate and sorrowful life. Okay, I could not get it that people existed on the planet, on this global landscape, that didn't have bank accounts. Like, where do you live? Until I became one. I realized that people are like literally subjugated to being victims of their own circumstances. I realized that sometimes people can't get bank accounts because they don't even have ID books. They don't have ID books due to the inefficiencies of the system to even register certain births. I realized that there is so much suffering and poverty on the ground that there are people who cannot get basic things like a bank account. It took me suffering like a monster to learn that wow, it gets bad in this world, and there are people who don't care that it gets really bad in this world about other individuals. I myself had to suffer like one of those that don't even have an ID book in order to realize that this world is just really messed up and unequal. Card IDs in this country were introduced within my suffering, within the struggle that I am in. South Africa made a decision to move over to card IDs. I still currently have that green barcoded ID, and I believe you me, trust, you're gonna faint to learn that I got it when I was in matric. So I could write my matric exams. I got that. So I still have my school uniform on and everything. I am a good and 18 or 17 years old or something in that photo, and it's quite embarrassing, frankly. And it was the ID book that I've been using, and has been the ID book that I've been using all of these years in order to get whatever I wanted in life. And nobody ever gave me grief because I guess I still looked like my photo. I don't know. I mean, people say I'm ageless, or at least I think I'm ageless. People don't say anything to me really, but I look in the mirror and I'm like, I haven't aged a day. So perhaps maybe I still look not too far from the way that I looked when I was 17 years old. However, that is the ID that I have. The first one ever that I got, I haven't changed it. I was going to, if I was still employed and have money to go to the Home Affairs, change things and queue for a minute and take a new photo with me being a little bit older, blah, 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 all that jazz. I totally was going to go and do it. When South Africa moved over to card IDs, I'm pretty sure that they've given the country some time to transition over entirely to card IDs. There likely will be a day that arrives when no longer are they accepting green barcoded IDs anymore. So you have to do it within these years, right? Once they move over to card identification. My goodness, I have been freaking out for no man's business the longest amount of time. I get no support. I don't get help to renew driver's licenses, license discs, IDs, things like it's I'm a non-entity. I'm a non-citizen. I don't exist anymore. It's that bad, my life situation. Okay. Anyway, having highlighted that, let me get that back to the point. This green barcoded ID of mine that I have had since I was 17 years old is the only ID I have. I cannot use my driver's license to open a bank account at a bank because it's expired. And my driver's license, of course, has got photos that are far more recent than what it is that my ID book has, because that's the photo when I was in matric. Whereas with my license, I got it when I was, I think, 22 or 21, and I renewed it once afterwards, right? And our driver's licenses in this country get renewed after 5 years. So I have, of course, a much younger ID, a much older face. Well, not much older, but you get my an older face on my ID books, on my driver's licenses. Therefore, to open a bank account, ideally, I would have used, if I had not yet moved over to the card ID, probably used my driver's license as opposed to my ID. But I only have my ID right now, which I hope is I mean, why would it expire, right? I've been able to use my ID, but I'm worried. I'm going to the bank right now and I want to open an account, and all I have is my green barcoded ID. I know they will not take my driver's licenses because they're expired. And if they tell me, sorry ma'am, we're no longer taking this, the way that they have, for instance, discontinued 5-cent coins, I'm screwed. I'm screwed. If they tell me at the bank that, sorry ma'am, your ID is invalid, guys, I will not be able to make money. Now, I did ask my mom, or I got my bank account so I could receive money on it, and she did, but she doesn't want to help me make it possible for me to receive funds from people who don't live in my country. African transfers are easy, nobody's going to give them problems. But if you are transferring money from the United Kingdom, if you're transferring money from Ethiopia, wherever you might be, you're going to have to go via some way. I tried to open a PayPal account on PayPal, basically, and PayPal with a bank account that Barbara had does not recognize it, because I think Standard Bank has not made a deal with that. That's the account that is the bank that she's working with. I know that FNB has collaborated with PayPal, and even then I think it's certain accounts that work with PayPal, and PayPal is the only sort of money system that I know that helps with the international exchange rates and what have you. I know that PayPal helps with that. So I tried PayPal, and the account does not, the bank does not agree with, I recognize it does not allow for that card that I presently have to work with PayPal. And so I found out that some other like a financial transaction soft system is an operation that all banks, or at least most banks, tend to agree with. And I found out that Standard Bank agrees with them. And when I then tried to get, oh my goodness, looking for parking is, yeah, onerous. Anyway, like, what are they doing? It's like middle of the week. I've always been so confused about why people, like, why it's so full, like this packed at the mall at midday on Wednesday. Don't y'all got jobs or something? Like, what? I have an excuse for being here. I am disenfranchised. What about you? Anyway, oh my goodness, like it's like literally packed to the brim. It's Wednesday and it's not a public holiday. Yeah, if anything, I think I'm even parking in the wrong place because of how far the bank is that I want to go to. Anyway, whatever. No, I'm parking here strategically because I know this parking is free. I don't have the liberty to park as close to where I want to park as I can. I park where it's free. Anyway, let me just park here. It's fine. I'll walk, you know, and if I can exercise, I can walk. I don't know what is with that ad again, aversion by human beings to park far away from the entrance. It's exercise. Anyway, I'm gonna finish this discussion while the car's still idling because it's hot and I don't want the aircon to get switched off. Yeah, no, so I found out that there's this one particular payment system that has been adopted by all banks, well, most banks, and I checked it out on the internet. So now I'm here to open a bank account with probably, I don't know, I think I'll go to Standard Bank because I don't know the money. I don't know the money. I have to go to a bank that I don't know money. When I lost my job, I got in trouble with the banks that I was banking with because of the fees on my account that I was not able to pay. So they might just be like, sorry ma'am, we can't open your account until you settle with us. So I'm gonna go to a bank that I don't have any such outstanding debts with, and Standard Bank is one of them. And ABSA, and pretty much all the banks except for Netbank and FNB, and I'm gonna come back and pay these guys back, but you know, this is my life. Anyway, so I don't have a bank account. As a whole grown adult in this nation, I don't have a bank account anymore, and I'm now here to open one because I am anticipating receiving money in the future because God has a plan for my life, and I'm pretty sure that it's not for me to die in obscurity. He is going to raise me up again. He is going to enable me to receive money. He is going to enable me to receive a salary, something to keep me abreast, afloat, and to enable me, by the amazing grace of God, to also leave this very torturous and abusive environment. God is going to do that. I am certain, almost as certain as I am that the sun will rise every morning. So it's not guaranteed because Christ could return any day, but it is highly likely that I'm going to be okay again. That is something I am certain of. So I have to open a bank account in good faith, trusting that this is something that's going to happen. It's literally a faith move. It's a faith move. It's a faith move because I'm not currently getting any money. My account is on YouTube, at least. Like, all I can do is giggle when I think about it. My Facebook people are, yeah, unsupportive. My TikTok, I got 1 follower yesterday. I got 1 little new follower on TikTok. My socials have not enough followers on them for me to monetize my accounts, but in good faith, I'm opening an account because I am trusting that something is going to miraculously suffice on my behalf. And I'm so exhausted, guys. Like, the only reason I slept last night was because there was a power cut. I've been working ridiculously. I'm burnt out, but I'm gonna push and strive past today so that I can start to wake up early in the morning. I woke up today at 8, and that's like an impressive feat because I tend to wake up late. Anyway, whatever. Due to the fact that I work all night long, so we're gonna change that. So if I'm busy looking bushed, tired, like there's no life in me, understand I am operating on borrowed energy. So having absolutely no ability to get out of this, I'm going to, by faith, open an account, trusting that one of these days a whole bunch of money is gonna flood into that account. I was scared in the past to open it because then they would just close it within months after opening it because of inactivity. But I am going to open one, hoping and trusting that each month there will at least come in 1 or 2 donations into my bank account that will keep it afloat and alive. I'm going to open a basic account. If anything, I'm going to walk into probably Standard Bank. I've decided I'm going to go to Standard Bank. I'm going to walk into Standard Bank and ask them for an account that can receive international donations, and they will let me know what it is that account. And the one that has barely any service charges or fees on it, does not require any kind of salary for you to be on it, blah blah blah. I don't even have money to pay to deposit into that account right now. I don't have money at all. I'm just going to open an account which I know is free to open, and then the bank is just going to have to trust that I'm going to start depositing funds into it. That is something that I am literally sitting here on, right? But I do have a concern that they might not take my, let me show it to you. You're gonna laugh, like my green barcoded ID, the real fan to the real Magway from like back in the day, like this. I don't know if the system, the country, everybody has already transitioned over to the card ID, and if they have, then they might just tell me, sorry ma'am, we're not gonna take this. They might give me grief, one, because my photo is old. IDs never expire, right? But it is highly recommended that you should change it every couple of years. What does expire is what does expire. I just saw someone that looked like they're from MTN, but no, it's not. What does expire are driver's licenses, but these don't expire. This is my ID. I'm not going to show you my photo because then you're probably going to see my my ID number. But I'm like, okay, I can just hide it, for crying out loud. You guys know I was born in 1984 on the 8th of August. I don't hide my age. I'm not one of those girls. There's no way where my actual ID number is showing. Right. Okay, no. Like, look at that. I'm in school uniform and everything. It's my first ever ID, and I don't know if they are going to let me use it. If they don't let me use it, I'm screwed, because I am not being helped right now to get my money. I'm not being helped to make an account that can receive donations from across the world, that can receive funds from across the world, because I am trying to establish for myself a world footprint. And so whoever it is that sees it fit to help me because they're touched by my story might not be in South Africa. And if that, and it likely not even won't be from South Africa, because Africans have spat me out. They have rejected everything that I am. They don't want to help me. I have gone to them for help. So I am highly unlikely going to be receiving rand in my account. It's going to be whatever might be the foreign currency of whatever country it is that might want to give me money. Like, it's dollars, it's yuan, it's rupees, you get my point. It's maybe even the Russian ruble, because, you know, some Russian might decide that they want to help me. Whether or not Vladimir Putin, I'm against. You get my point. So if I'm going to be receiving international currency, I have to be connected to a world system that is able to convert and work with like foreign currencies. You get my point. So the account that Barbara gave me, that is basically one of hers that she's no longer using, is not linked to internet banking. And I tried to ask her for help yesterday, and she was just like, it was just, you know, very kind of like, you know, when a person just doesn't want to help type thing. And I told myself, then fine, I'll go to the bank and I will open a bank account myself. I hope that I'm still within the time frame of using the green barcoded ID, and I also hope that they're not going to give me qualms with my very fresh face in here of a 17-year-old, given that I am now all 37 years old and tired on the face. So I really pray to the Lord Jesus Christ that this will be enabled. But this ought to be a lesson, and a harsh one, to people, to South Africa and to the world at large, that this is what you do to people. They go from being a member of society, they go from thriving to absolutely nowhere and nothing, to not even having a bank account, because you see it fit to, out of basic things like jealousy, destroy a friend's life, a sister's life. You get my point. Do you know how the Antichrist is going to prosper to ridicule all of humanity into taking the mark of the beast? It is through exactly what's happening in my life right now. A whole bunch of pressure to do things that dishonor God in exchange for an ability to transact in the world, in exchange for an ability to get money, in exchange for an ability to get food, housing, respect, a job. No one will be able to buy or sell unless they take the mark of the beast. They can only trade if they have the mark of the beast. And I am living in a world that is yet to have the mark of the beast be implemented and effected, but I am experiencing the realities of a person that doesn't want to take the mark of the beast. Without it, I cannot buy or sell. And that is my life. I will not dishonor God. I will not turn away from the Most High. I love my King. He saved me. I'm going to heaven. If I died on the spot right now from a brain aneurysm, understand heaven is going to rejoice and say, well done. Enter in, my good and faithful servant. You have fought the good fight. You have run the race. You have kept the faith. So I'm safe. And in order to keep my salvation, working it out with fear and trembling, I have got to reject the mark of the beast in whatever way or form it might come, prior to even the real mark of the beast being here. And in rejecting the mark of the beast, people are now ostracizing me and locking me out of society altogether. Well, thank God we are not living in the days of the actual mark of the beast yet, and so therefore it is still possible for me to open an account without something being scanned on my forehead or my right hand. And thank God it is possible for me to buy and sell in spite of people insisting that I can't anymore, because the system is not yet entirely implemented. But very spiritually and very tacitly in the sky, the mark of the beast is already in operation, where people are being destroyed like this for refusing to stand with wicked narratives. My prayer is that you will realize how close it is that we are to the end, because society is already being fashioned and kind of juiced up and made ready to disregard people like me. Stick to Jesus all the way to the very end. Society is getting ready to martyr people just because they don't want to dishonor God, because look at what they're doing to Christians like me. So pray for me vicariously. I don't know how you're going to do it, because by the time you see this, I guess maybe your prayers will have already been heard or answered, like in advance type thing. I shall pray for myself. I have already done so. I have sought the Lord's face. I have asked him to please give me mercy, have favor on me, and not make Standard Bank give me grief because of my old ID book. Like, the fact that that is even a problem in my life, guys, is just beyond me. The fact that I drove this vehicle here unlicensed, if I were to meet like the Metro Police, they were going to give me grief for not having a valid driver's license. I've only got the old ones that are yet to, I mean, they're still in my purse. You know, 2 of my driver's licenses that have been renewed with more recent photographs in them, I've only got these, and they're old, so they are invalid. And these driver's licenses of mine, if I were to present one to the Metro Popo, they'd be like, ma'am, you are crazy, this thing expired in 2000 and what, and I'd be like, no, but I say, have a mercy, man, like proper, like they probably wouldn't arrest me, but I'd get like a whopping ticket, and I've already got like problems in life. Like, I already owe some people money because I don't have an ability to pay anything off. So let's just hope that Standard Bank is not going to give me problems, and that Jesus Christ will give me that for favor. All right, let's go inside, wear these masks, and suffocate from CO2, and hopefully that's the only challenge that we're going to be facing. Carbon dioxide in my lungs, as opposed to no bank account to receive international transactions. Later. Hi, how's it? Oh. Can a person be more detached from societal norms that they are aware of? Can a person be more extracted out of society than me? To a point of forgetting basic things, like basic stuff. Where did I park? Please let me find the car like real fast, because it would be great if I were to get inside. Show off sooner rather than later. Like I did park far. I did. Hey Batung, I forgot that one needs proof of residence to open a bank account. Like, I couldn't forget that. Now I'm going back. I told them I don't have anything to my name and I just live somewhere, and they told me that the person that I live with, give them I can use their proof of residence, but they have to write me a letter. So I'm going home to get a letter from mommy in order for me to open an account. Sorry, let these people drive out. Next thing they're like, hey, you know, these influencers in the wild, they're busy recording and we can't drive out because of them. So yeah, that is basically all for the name of recording. That is basically what is my challenge now. I'm literally going back home to get proof of residence. I need to get this done today, but thankfully the lady at the Standard Bank told me that, what do you call this, that I can just come back and ask for her directly, since I already queued for about 45 minutes to be exact. 40 to 45 minutes. She said that I can just ask for her and I'll be good. So that's what I intend to do. I'm just going home to get proof of residence from my mom and a letter from her. I can't believe it. Like, I'm getting a letter from mom. Like, how old am I, guys? Somebody remind me, please. There we go, 37. That woman is probably going to be shocked that I'm 37 years old, because I wish we never ever commenced anything. Because I was like, I live at home with my mother and I have like absolutely nothing to myself else. So she gave me counsel. Then she's gonna look at my ID and be like, why do you live at home with your mom? Anyway, these are the challenges of my life. Moving past that, so I have to go get proof of residence. And the other thing that I wanted to highlight to you guys, okay, where did I put my free parking ticket? I don't want to get there to the boom at the boom and like interrupt traffic behind me. I showed you guys some kind of a video now just before you saw me walking to the vehicle. It was a sign outside Cinnabon. Cinnabon is quite frankly one of my favorite places to get a nice little dessert type thing. I'm a huge fan of cinnamon. If anybody knows me, they would know that, and I love their stuff, right? Their treats. But Cinnabon is what I wanted to show you is what's going on in the world using Cinnabon. So that sign, if you were not able to read it, I will relate it to you. Read: we now no longer hold cash on site, and we don't use cash, basically only cards, because for your own safety, something along the lines of no cash for your own safety. So basically, if you go to Cinnabon and want to buy a nice little Coca-Cola and a Cinnabon, you are gonna get told, if you rock up there with just 50 bucks on your person, like a note, they're gonna be like, sorry ma'am, we don't take cash anymore. It would be great if you came back with a card or something. So people like me who don't have a bank account, or at least as at present, hopefully that'll change in the next 24 hours, just take my card, will you? Well, and I told you, I let you guys know that. Oh, come on, just take my card. I am trying to insert my ticket. You're the one that don't want to take it. Anyway, so moving on right ahead, like, I love Cinnabon. If they were to come up with that, so like policy and like Andicchio pizza, I would faint on the spot, because I love Andicchio pizza. It's my favorite thing under heaven, right? If they told me that I can only buy with like a card then, and I was the kind of person that I presently am right now, where if at all I have any money on me, it's cash, because I don't have a bank account, I would be unable to ever eat at Andicchio again unless somebody else buys me the pizza using a card or something. Cinnabon does not take cards anymore, and again cash. And Cinnabon is also very small. Like, it's not exactly a takeaway joint where you can sit and eat and end up leaving there with a bill of like 300, 400, 500 rands. No, it's not. It's not. It's the kind of place where you spend tiny little amounts of money. One Cinnabon can set you back perhaps 25 to 30 bucks. At least last time I checked. 25 to 30 bucks, right? So, and it's not the kind of place, it's a confectionery, just so you can understand what that is. It's like little sweet eats, it's like cakes that are made with lots of cinnamon and whatnot. You don't buy sweets for the same amount of quantity and money that you would buy, for instance, like a whole full meal with a family. It's the kind of, like, you just have one little cake, one little cinnabon, maybe two really at most. You are highly unlikely going to spend lofty amounts of money there at a go. So for a place that transacts with such little money per transaction, for them to not take cards, it's very mark of the beastie, if you ask me. The world is already moving to a cashless society, and it is so bad. And it's bad because really quite a grand amount of poverty-stricken people don't have a means. Sorry, I'm gonna go in. Don't have is there still no power? I used to South Africa, okay? I was struggling at the robot because the robots were also dead. Like, what? There's still no power. I was queuing forever, man. Anyway, right. The world is moving on to a cashless society system, and that is dangerous because quite a huge chunk of the human race still does not have an ability to access cardless services. And if at all, these people, they live hand to mouth, right? They live hand to mouth. They're poor, and so what they get in cash, they like use straight away in order to go and buy bread or whatever. They don't interact with international transaction systems like SWIFT, which is what I found out is the system that is going to enable me to receive international transactions. The people that went on right ahead to also ban Russia from transacting in this way, so Russians can't get money from international places because of the SWIFT payment systems boycotting of them and sanctioning of them. So yay, at least for that, whatever. So the lady at Standard Bank told me that SWIFT is the way out. So these people are not even thinking as far as SWIFT. They're not thinking I need to be receiving foreign currency. They are not thinking I need to be interacting with people in other lands. They're thinking I need to eat bread. I need to eat bread. And mind you, this is a fact. It is a global statistic. It is a fact, right? FACT, it's a fact. The majority of the human race, the majority of the human population is poor. And they are living below the poverty line. And they are malnourished. They are dehydrated. They are struggling to eat, and they are displaced. They don't have proper homes with running water, so they are not at all ready for payment systems that make it impossible for them to use coins and paper money. The world, the large majority of the planet, is in no way fit and like properly ready to embrace, do you understand, the transition over to a cashless society. Oh my goodness, like really. It's only 1:30 p.m. in the afternoon, and I am in some ridiculous traffic because South Africa loves their power cuts. Oh my goodness. I said I missed traffic the other day in my blog. I don't. I was lying. I shouldn't lie as a child of God, so I repent. I hate this. Anyway, so here lies the situation. The majority of the planet is poverty-stricken. They are. The majority of the planet does not have banking accounts. The majority of the planet interacts with cash or with a means of just getting stuff straight away. The majority of the world doesn't even know or care that the SWIFT payment system has wreaked some financial economic havoc in Russia. They probably don't have a clue. So given that the Antichrist system is busy on the come up and it's on the rise, so much so that many of the organizations of this world are already moving over to cashless payment systems where they only use card. Are they not then on that day locking out the majority of the planet from on the day when they pick up 50 rands on the street, going to Cinnabon and buying a Cinnabon in order to eat? They are making it difficult for the poor to access food and basic services. The poor who use only cash. Literally, the world is moving to fulfillment of the word of the Lord in the book of Revelation, where it is written that the man of lawlessness, Revelation 13, is going to rock up on the scene, on the global world stage, and say, guys, look, it's not like I don't like you or whatever. I get you're poor, but I mean, look, this is the world that we're living in. Cash is a dangerous thing. If anything, a lot of y'all are struggling with crime because of it. People keep coming into your houses and stealing your money. So we're going to make life a little bit more secure. And in so making it secure, we're also going to make it possible for you to start to get things that you need more readily than what you were previously in the past. Just agree, you guys, to take this mark of mine on your forehead and on your right hand, and I will enable you to walk into a Pick and Pay and buy bread. I will subsidize that bread. I will make sure that you're able to get that bread. Right now, you have to work by the sweat of your brow, till a garden, plant and lay tiles in the house all day long just to buy 2 loaves of bread. Well, this is what I'm telling you. I will offer you for free every single day a loaf of bread. If you take my mark, you just walk into the Pick and Pay and you pick it right off the shelves. You don't even have to get scanned at the telling point, the point of sales. You don't have to get scanned because, I mean, you're going to walk in there. There's going to be a system already erected inside the Pick and Pay that is going to recognize that you've just walked in and you are there to claim your daily bread. Do you not realize how easily then that the poverty-stricken of the planet, the great majority of the world population that is poor, do you not see how it is that they will then easily embrace the mark of the beast because of that? They're not going to think twice. Think right now. about what's going on. I kid you not, this is a total fact. It was actually alarming for me to come in contact with that information. Do you know that currently in Hungary, because of the war in the Ukraine that has been waged on them by Mr. Pewdiepute, do you know that? You know how Russia and Ukraine combined provide 50% of the world's sunflower byproducts, so be it sunflower seeds or sunflower oil, right? It comes from the Ukraine and Russia combined, and then the two of those countries account for 27%, so let's just round it off to the nearest 10 of the world's, what do you call this, bread supply, wheat supply. So they're the bread basket of Europe, and they also are basically the oil basket, if you want to call it that. They are like of Europe and much of the upper part of Africa, North Africa, and surrounding nations. So Turkey is struggling to eat because of what's going on in Russia, and they are already really going through it. And then in Hungary, not very far away from them, allegedly, apparently, if at all this war does not stop, they are going to lose the ability. I mean, those of you who live in the Gazi are going to cringe at this understanding, right? Those of you who live in Soweto, in the ghetto, you're going to cringe because you're not going to be able to eat amagoda. Hungary is facing the inability to make slap chips, fried chips, you know, fries, like, yeah, the chips, guys, slap chips, fries, whatever you want to call them in your country. Hungary is facing the inability to make fries if Ukraine and Russia don't stop making war, and so sunflower seed provision is halted. Hungary will not be able to make slap chips. The price of oil will then also skyrocket like no man's business. So, I mean, really, when that is the situation, when Europe, when this war between Russia and Ukraine is threatening a feministic situation, famine, right, of this nature, when it is causing that kind of a like famine situation that's so severe to a point where nobody can make igoda anymore, how much worse will the situation be if these wars and rumors of wars continue to increase in frequency and in intensity? If at all another country goes to war, if at all another bread basket of the world goes black bust, if another farmland cannot be worked on this year, if more fertilizer increases in price, Russia is also a great exporter of fertilizer, so fertilizer prices have skyrocketed, and so farmers are having quite the financial difficulty planting things this year, type thing. And the ramifications, the knock-on effects are gargantuan. That's what I'm trying to help you guys understand. If that is going on with just this one wall in the breadbasket of Europe, can you imagine what is going to happen when more nations go to war? And trust me, that's going to happen. What's going to happen is that the globalists are going to have access to all of the world's food, all of the world's resources, and so put people in a hungry little position. And once they're nice and famished, they're going to say to them, look, we've come together as the 10 kings, and we've brought about this man of lawlessness who is your king now. His name is Antichrist. Take him in your stride and take his mark. Like, run with this guy, love him, because in so loving him, you are going to eat bread you have not seen in a minute. People are going to capitulate. So the only way to protect yourself against capitulation, because somebody is literally taking for granted that you're so hungry that you would lose your soul over food, the only way to conquer that is to get saved in Christ, so you can understand what in the world the mark of the beast means, and so for you to be prepared to take hunger in your stride rather than lose your soul. When you know that there is an eternal soul to be lost, a hellfire to be endured forever, you will get over your hunger. You will swallow your saliva. You will die from starvation, because what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and yet lose his soul? And to die is Christ, and to live is gain. Sorry, to live is Christ, but to die is gain. That is what it is that the world is facing. And when I look at what's going on in tiny little shops that should be using cash, like Cinnabon, literally saying you can only buy a can of Coca-Cola, just a can, like a tiny little 330 ml can of Coca-Cola with a card. Like, seriously, like, what? How much is a can of Coca-Cola these days? Like 370 ml, like what, under 10 bucks, right? Like, so you're expecting me to like scan my card for 10 rands? I've got a 10 rand note right here. I've got a 20 rand note right here. Come on, just take it. And they're like, no, we don't use cash anymore, ma'am. So if you're Garabo, if you ma'am in particular Garabo, and you don't have a bank account, you basically have to go elsewhere. So then imagine a society where there is no elsewhere to buy a Coca-Cola, where you can't walk into a store and actually buy it cash. What are you gonna do? Not drink Coca-Cola. Oh my goodness. What do you do when you can't drink Coca-Cola? You become Coca-Cola famished. And so therefore the world is going to make sure that people give their Coca-Cola by taking the mark of the beast. They are integrating world systems, and they're trying to digitize everything, so eventually the technology will be in place for you to take the mark of the beast. And with these things being a reality, and with Carabo, the cranberry over here, alluding you to them, with Karabo letting you know that this is what is going on. How in the world do you then persist, randoms out there on these streets, on keeping me buried? I spot these things, I identify them because I'm actively watching for the Lord. I'm actively watching, I'm actually watching for the Lord, meaning that I pick up things that you likely will not notice as a problem or an issue or as an impending lion crouching about wanting to pounce on you in the bush that you don't see. I am a watchman. I'm trying to help you see what times we're in. And I see these things because I'm in the Bible. I'm scholastic. I'm forever studying. And so because I'm forever studying, I will bring this understanding forward to you. But this nation is full of insanity. It's full of Christian persecution. It is a tantamount of North Korea or Iran. It doesn't want to hear the gospel. They're happy to gather for themselves a great number of teachers to teach them what the itching is want to hear. My cat is literally still sleeping on top of this car. They are happy to teach you what your itching is, want to hear, or rather gather for themselves all of these men and women that'll teach you falsehood. And so therefore you will go on and take the mark of the beast unbeknownst to yourself that you've done such a thing as that, and find yourself in the eternal lake of fire. Again, no one can really look, people are not going to take the mark of the beast without knowing that that's what they're doing. They will likely capitulate anyway and say, I'll take my chances, because God is going to give the human race so many shots and so many opportunities to not go out like that no one will be without excuse to say that I didn't know that this was going on. Literally, after you have people have martyred the saints of the living God in those days, after people have cancerously damaged the lives of many a soul on the planet, and so therefore Christians are nowhere to be found. They have been massacred, they've been killed, they have been made to live underground, and the gospel is not so easily preached anymore. Even on that day, God, and even when the 144,000 also get taken back to heaven, God is going to send 2 angels, or is it 3? I stand corrected, to spread the message across the world to not take the mark of the beast, for there will be eternal torment for them. Angels are going to preach the gospel. Angels, when there are no 144,000, when there are no 2 witnesses, when there are no Karabos, saints, regular Christians, warning you not to take the mark, there will be supernatural beings flying around saying, don't take it. And people will still take it. And then the man of lawlessness is going to prosper and make them take it anyway. So repent today before that becomes your reality, or find yourself perishing in eternal flames. Let this be a warning. Let me go inside and get my letter and go back to Clearwater Mall. I'll be back. Cranky. Hi, here's my letter. And the proof of residence, I have to print it. Oops, sorry. The proof of residence is something that I have to print. Oh, I can't believe I did not get out of this jacket. It is so hot. It's getting increasingly hot. The power just came back on now. I was in the middle of writing an article, so I'm just gonna finish it, and I'm gonna work out, I'm gonna exercise, and then I'm gonna come back. Oh, I'm gonna come back and sing. I'm gonna sing. Yeah. This is the chat session of the day, like the message of the day. You know, I'm trying to keep things succinct. So this whole journey, that's it. And then later on, I'm gonna cover maybe like a song or 2, another one that I wrote, and upload that to YouTube. And then write another article for tomorrow. Like, my life is busy, but today I'm going to exercise. There are so many power cuts in one day that I'm going to like literally attack them. You know, I'm trying to not speak my native tongue, my languages, because I'm obviously trying to reach an international audience for rational reason, because my own country is unreliable. My own people cannot for the life of them stand me for whatever reason. So I have to like cut out much of my own dialect on my tongue so people can understand me, but it's so difficult because it comes so naturally to me to just burst out in Setswana or something. And again, there are certain words in the Tswana language or Zulu language or whatever that just really like, they're like onomatopoeias. They have this power and this impact, and they deliver a resonated understanding, like just an understanding of the, like, you know, like the action words. Like, it's not even just any verb, but it's a verb, like a verb, you know, a verb with a splat, like an onomatopoeia. Only in my language can I get those certain nuances out. So when I have to use them in English, sorry guys, I don't have one of those stands for the car. So every so often when I drive, my phone falls over. Yeah, English words sometimes just don't quite get the emotional impact or the real true meaning of what I'm trying to say out. But you know, it's like I have to settle type thing, and it's gonna take a minute for me to get over that. Like, I don't even think I'm gonna marry a South African man. Like, it probably won't happen. So with these cultural nuances in me, it's gonna be really tough to have to live somewhere or be among people that just don't get them. And I'm also probably gonna struggle with their own nuances, but it is what it is. That's just life. South Africa has done that to me. Anyway, so moving on right ahead, I have a letter. Can't believe I have a letter from Mom. Like, guys, I can't say that. My life conditions are horrific. They are horrendous. Like, horrendous. Like, even now, I asked her for money to help me print. And she was like, I don't really know if I have any. Like, she's reluctant to help me do anything at all. Like, she is a barrier to entry. She is operating as a chock-a-block. She is operating as a showstopper in my life. And I'm like, not this time. Not this time, woman. Not this time. This time around, I am breaking out with or without your assistance. I am going to do me. I'm going to get what I need. Never again will I be restricted to what it is that I can eat, what kind of clothes I can wear. Never again are you going to prescribe a diet to me. That is just the bane of my existence at the present moment. I am very much into nutrition and health and fitness. And so I'm one of those people that really desire to eat a rainbow per day. And my diet is restricted as a result. The kinds of fruits I want to bring into my life to grow my hair and to also build my body, I can't. The kinds of foods I want to ingest, I can't. Like, I am restricted in everything. And this is something I've had to deal with for 8 years. I cannot eat what I want. And for the life of me, it is the bane of my existence. Look, I know there are people that are struggling to eat at all in the world right now. But the moral of the story here is that I have got people that are restricting the living daylights out of me in the country that I live in, just so they don't hear the gospel. I mean, the level of defeatism is just astronomical. It's through the roof. There is hellfire to endure. There is weeping and gnashing of teeth for eternity to endure. And with that being a fact, they are taking their chances. Like, you know, I've heard people respond to evangelists that are trying to get them the gospel, street evangelists especially, when they're busy arguing with them. One such man is Ray Comfort. I have heard some of his people respond to some of the people that he is interviewing, trying to reach for Christ, right? Evangelizing, respond to him by saying, I'll take my chances. Like, when he makes it kind of known that there is, you know, quite the daunting eternity to endure, if at all you don't respond to the gospel. And many other street evangelists whose channels I check out on YouTube, and you will get these people that are like, I'll take my chances. Some of them walk away huffing and puffing and blowing their houses down, basically acting like a big bad wolf, because they just don't want to hear it. And the day is going to arrive in eternity. If these men and women die outside of Christ, if they don't come around, if they don't repent from their present rebellion, the day is going to arrive when they will remember the very day when they were evangelized, when that Christian rocked up and gave them the gospel. And they responded after being told they're going to endure hellfire forever by saying, I'll take my chances. South Africans are responding to me like that. They're responding to me like that. The Bible says that many who are first on earth will be last in the kingdom of heaven, and many who are last on earth will be first in the kingdom of heaven. So basically, those of us who are lost and disregarded, and nobody listens to what we have to say, nobody cares what's coming out of our mouths, or what they call pie holes, they are going to long to rather have walked in our shoes. They're going to covet us once and for all. They're going to long to be us once and for all. When their names are left out of the Lamb's book of life and we are standing there judging the nations with Jesus Christ, they are going to wish they were us. The Bible says that at the great white throne judgment, we Christians, the potholes in this country, we as Christians are going to judge the nations with the Lord. We are going to be exalted to a position of judging the nations with the Lord. And I can see why that would need to happen. Because, I mean, how many people have existed in the history of the human race? Billions, I think, might even be an understatement. Maybe it's like headed, like, you know, hovering more around the trillions. Lots and lots from the very beginning of the society, of civilizations at all. There are lots and lots. Like, I frankly cannot put a number on them, right? And Christ is, of course, he's omniscient, he's God, you know what I mean? Like, he's omnipresent, he's omnipotent, and he's eternal. The Godhead is eternal. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, eternal. So, I mean, time ain't a thing, of course, when you're eternal. But at the end of the day, the Lord loves those who work. The Lord appoints duties to everyone. Right now, I like to say this, that even today, those Christians who have passed away, who have left the earth, they're not sitting in heaven just kind of la-di-da swinging on a hammock. They're actually working. They're preparing for the great supper. They're preparing for the return of the Lord, because we're going to return with the Lord on horses. You know, the saints are going to return with the Most High at the second return of Jesus Christ. It's going to be this monumental event, this momentous affair that is going to, in the clouds, going to show you Christ with a horde, legions of his saints behind him, angelic hordes as well. All of heaven is going to rock up back with Jesus to judge the nations. Do you understand? And then we're going to chill here, and the 1,000-year millennial reign of Jesus Christ, we're going to live in this joint, ruling and reigning for 1,000 years with Jesus. That's how things are going to happen. So if we're going to rock up back with Christ on horses when he comes back at the second return, and then rule for 1,000 years, how much more are we then going to judge the world with him at the great white throne judgment after that 1,000-year millennial reign of Jesus Christ is over. How much more are we going to be all about that business? Like, y'all need to understand, there is danger to be endured, and there is handling to be experienced by those that you underestimated when they were walking the earth, trying to evangelize you, throw you seed, and you told them, I'll take my chances with this hell that you're talking about. Understand that the day's going to come when you wish you had listened to me. The day's going to arrive when you will look at me looking all glorious in my incorruptible body and looking all resolved for judgment and justice, and not be in my shoes and facing hellfire, found wanting, absolutely starkly naked before the blazing inferno of the holiness of God, and being unable to account for why it is that you deserve to come into heaven. You are not going to make it. Books are going to be opened. You will not have received the propitiation. You will have told, thank you very much, guy, Ray Comfort, that I'll take my chances. You will have told Karabo, I'll take my chances. You will have told everyone that came and dropped seed at your feet that you'll take your chances. This hellfire, you don't believe it, it can't possibly be true, because it is a very difficult reality to envision. It is difficult to envision it as fact, because of how easy and la-di-da and just random this earth is, because of how many people here disregard God. The road is narrow, there leads to life, there few there be that find it, and so therefore, because the majority of the citizens of the planet don't embrace the gospel, it is easy. I can see how so very easily you all will imagine there can't be a hell, because most people tend to agree that there isn't, except God did say that broad will be the road that leads to destruction that many enter into, and you will go there if you don't realize that he is real, he is true, he is God, and he's rocked up to die for you so that you don't have to. Karabo is going to be in an incorruptible body behind Jesus, and the mercy and compassion that she has for you today who are going to hell, where it is that you slap her and she turns the other cheek, today she takes your nonsense lying down because she feels sorry for the hellbound state that you're in. The day is going to come when my sorrow for your demise is no longer there. The holiness of God and the incorruptible body of Christians that they're going to inherit is going to be so solid and so stark and so real and so livid and so wild that we are going to look at you with a clean face, without batting an eyelid, as you get judged to go to eternal fire. Whereas here on earth right now, I can't even fathom the prospect of, say, for example, my mom or sisters going to hell. But if they don't repent, when I have an incorruptible body, the way we are going to be so holy, the way God's holiness is perfect, there will be a resolve in us too that you had this coming. Like, no discomfort. You know how you feel guilty or sad for even criminals that are being vigilantically punished by the community, like they're getting beaten up or whatever. You feel bad for them even though they raped a woman or whatever. When they're busy suffering and their screams or they just pierce through your soul, it hurts to see a human being hurt. Well, the holiness of God that is going to give us incorruptible, that is going to dwell in us in our incorruptible bodies, the perfection is going to be such that that sorrow that we feel, that pain that we feel even for guilty people who are being punished, is going to be gone. We are just going to be solidly, justly resolved to deal with sin as it ought to be dealt with in the presence of a holy generation. And so I'm not going to be feeling bad that God is about to throw you into hellfire when he opens the books and you were a South African that I tried to reach and you were like, I'll take my chances with this hell you claim exists. I'm going to be sitting there or standing there behind Jesus as he is judging the nations and be like, we told you so. We tried for you. We attempted to get you right with the Most High, and you chose your rebellion. You chose, give me a ticket. You chose your rebellion, and you chose your stubbornness, your obstinateness, your reprobate nature, did away with you like no man's business. And now here it is that you're about to go to hellfire, and you can't even say, God, please put in a good word for me. Please put in a good word for me with your God, man. Like, come on, hellfire forever, girl. But how could I have known you had the invisible qualities of God? You had your conscience, and with you living in countries where the gospel is preached, you're even worse off because you had the evangelists. You had Moses, you had the prophets, you had Karabo, you had all of the brethren on the earth, and you ignored them, you disregarded them, and what's worse is you went on right ahead to persecute them while you were at it. Y'all need to repent. Y'all need to give your lives over to the Lord. Y'all need to do that. But right now I'm undermined. Right now I'm dying a slow, suffocating death. Right now I'm trying to open a bank account using a letter from mommy like I'm in the 7th grade or whatever. That is my life. I am the least on the planet, in the kingdom of earth. I'm on earth, kingdom of darkness, whatever. I'm the least here. I ain't nobody. I have not laid up for myself treasures in this joint because moth and rust destroys here. But my treasures are laid up in heaven, where such moth and rust do not destroy. I have got to park over there or here Or there. Okay, I'll park over there. Okay, moth and rust destroys this earth, but in heaven, of course, ain't none of that nature. You know what I mean? And that's where my treasures are at. So therefore, even if I never get my life restored again, even if the rapture happens tomorrow, or even if I spend the next 10 years in the same level of obscurity, God forbid, hey Bachung, I'm gonna judge you with Christ. And the day's gonna come when I'm far more beautiful than I already am now. And the day's also gonna come when I'm far better looking than you. And I am inheriting mansions and stuff when you, what is the word that I'm looking for, undermined me and dragged my name through the mud and gloated your tiny little houses here on the earth, your tiny little cars, in comparison to the grandiosity of heaven. Your houses are going to pale in comparison, and I'm going to be the owner of like multiple properties. I will be that monopoly player. That's what you need to understand. I'm going to own multiple properties. I'm going to inherit like crowns and authority and leadership and all that jazz. And the chick that you denied a job is going to come back at you and say, look at me now. Look at me now. Look at me now. I'm using paper. You know what it's going to be similar to? I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Pretty Woman with Julia Roberts and Richard Gere from back in the day. You know that store that she walks into where they give her grief and they pass her shade because she's looking like a prostitute, all nasty, and she's rocking like some tiny little skirt, and she's looking for a dress, and she's been given a credit card, the credit card of a millionaire, but these women don't know it, and they undermine her in the store, and then they tell her, sorry, I don't think we have anything for you here. And then she leaves that store, comes back after doing a whole shopping spree, an entire like wardrobe haul, and walks into the store on some, you made a big mistake, big, huge. And then she walks out. That's Christians for you. We're going to be the ones in a position to let you guys know that you made a big mistake, huge, and walk out of your store, and you will have wished that you had listened to us, because when we walked this earth, you were so shallow that you disregarded us due to us being indeed treasure in jars of clay. Be afraid, be very afraid, don't underestimate, because you will get hurt. Something bad. Let me go in the bank and do what I need to do, and hopefully this time around, we're going to prosper. Bye. In fact, I remember the exact Julia Roberts in that movie. Her exact words were, you guys work on commission, right? And then the women respond and say yes. And then she's like, big mistake, big, huge. So basically, transferring that into Christian talk is you guys didn't embrace the gospel, right? Big mistake, big, huge. Let me go and print my papers. Bye.